I felt in my gut so nervous, so like, okay, we're really, like, this is really the next step. We needed this step. I think knowing that we needed it, or knowing that it was a possibility, still didn't make it real until we were here and we were like, oh, like, it just made me feel like this might not actually work. Like, we had to go this far for this, that yes, now we're here, but this might never happen for us. And I just remember sitting on the couch, like, I think I cried the entire appointment. My husband had to answer all the questions because I was just like, wow, like, this is really, it just felt so real. And I felt disappointed and anxious and everything about it. So yes, I remember clearly, we were going to start at like the path of least intervention, start with, some like pills to help with my cycle. And that was the first point of, we were just going to do that and kind of try on our own. And then we were going to add interventions if needed. Just sharing my experience, I just felt like was something that just kind of provided other people, because I would say to someone, no, actually we're having a hard time. They're like, oh, we are too. This is what we're going through. And it's like, once you open it up, you're like, wait, not everyone, but so many people are going through this and we're not talking about it. So we're all just like suffering alone, feeling like I'm the only person going through this. And then once I started talking about it, I was like, oh, it's just not even close to what's happening. But it felt like, I can't say this. I can't say that this is happening. I know a lot of times they have the massage therapist downstairs. So I'd come in for my appointment, and again, like I said, I couldn't have been wound any tighter, and you come in and you're sitting, you're waiting for appointment, and you can get like your shoulders rub and your head rub, and I'm like, oh my God, like, you're not at the spa, but it felt pretty, it's a nice touch to come and calm those nerves a little bit.
So I think from onset, when we kind of started to find out that there was something impeding us from getting pregnant, that the easiest thing to do is to rule out the male, and then after that happens, it really becomes, which we did, but then it becomes a much bigger, you become a much bigger support role, as we were saying. So my role was really to figure out, how do I navigate this journey with my wife and end up feeling like we've accomplished everything that we wanted to, and that this wasn't a hurdle, that this wasn't something that we look back on and say, gosh, we felt so down in the dumps at that time that we wanted it to become something that we look back and said, my gosh, we achieved everything. This was a fantastic journey. We're so happy to have him. And we were able to really kind of remove what we felt initially was the opinion that this was a sterile field, and that this is more of kind of this step, this step, this step. Instead, we found that at CNY that it was all love. It was all very personable, and it really turned into not me listening and then supporting my wife, but instead everyone supporting everybody. And it was really a partnership, and it really made me feel like I didn't have to shoulder the burden of the role that I was thinking I had. It really became, everyone was a resource. And then how do we all work together to get there? Because this was all brand new to me just as much as it was to her. So they really helped me in my role, as well as her in her role, being as completely unique as they were.